Hey everyone. Nothing is working out for me today. Technology, just kind of everything. It's been a weird day. It's very late. It's very late, and I've had a hard time finding a sufficient amount of quiet time. But here I am. I'm back. I'm kind of working also, so my focus is going to kind of be drawn back and forth. I originally had planned to kind of film the actual process of a drawing, but I dropped my camera so many times and it just proved to be too difficult to do handheld. So it's not really working out. But once I get a proper camera and, have tripods at my disposal, it might be a little easier. So for the moment, I'm kind of just going with this format. Hopefully we'll get the technical issues kind of hashed out soon. So I don't know. The first thing that kind of comes to mind to talk about really is, there's been so much death in the media. Yeah, lots of celebrity death and things of that nature, which, has been awful. And, Alan Rickman caught me completely off guard. I'm sure he did other people as well. So, just with all that, I'm not very good at death. I don't really know how to process it. I haven't ever really. I've had death in my life before, but I've never had I don't know. It's never really gotten to me, or it didn't register until much later. So, all these celebrity deaths going on, and then I'm kind of scrolling through Facebook the other day, and I see a message. It's from my dad, and he was talking about this guy that we both used to know. Name was Zach Chappie. Now Zach professionally did many things, but he was a good guy. He never did any wrong by me. We lost touch for, almost a decade until he popped back up. I don't really know. We didn't really get into, what had gone on in his life that had, kind of led him wherever he ended up. But, my dad told me that he passed away. And, at first I was kind of, that initial, shock of, oh my gosh. And then it didn't really register again. The rest of that day, I didn't really think about it. But the next day I did. It was just weird. We weren't super close. He wasn't a consistent person in my life. But, he's always popped up. I've always come back into contact with him in the most random ways. But growing up, he was a pretty, prominent figure because he was always around and we were always around him. And, he was, a lot younger than my parents, so I think I kind of latched onto that. I appreciated, things about him and who he was. And, he shaped kind of, I probably wouldn't like the same kind of music that I do if not for him. I probably never would have learned how to fight. We used to go and spend time at his house, and we would box, him and I, in the backyard when I was younger. And I had no clue what I was doing, and he would toy around with me for a while, but then I'd catch him a good one, and then he'd beat the hell out of me. But it was fun. It was fun just knowing him. He was a great person, and that was the first time that I really ever taken aback, I guess. not entirely how I would put it, but I mean it was still shocking. So I just had a hard time kind of like I don't know, coming to grips with it because I it was shocking. So I've kind of had that like in the back of my mind, and I definitely feel bad for people that were much closer to him than I was. Because I mean, everyone seemed to have nice things to say about him. Anyone that knew him. I mean, sure, there were some that I mean may or may not have liked him. I don't know, but overall, he was a great man. He was. So yeah, that's been kind of weird. Um, it like I don't know. I don't really feel sad. It's just I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Anyways, so there's been that, and I don't know. It's just been kind of difficult to get really anything done. I just my attention has been drawn every single which way. So I did have a chance to go out to eat for breakfast yesterday morning, and I gotta say, I think at some point customer service became non-existent. Like it just didn't exist. And I definitely have experienced it more and more lately. But there's going to have to be a part two. So I have horrible demilitarized zone quality in internet connection. So I'm going to have to split this up probably several times. So come back for part two, and I'll tell you about my breakfast and my realization behind